This is a Texan betrayal, the Jim Schlossnagle story. Yesterday, not even 24 hours removed from the Game 3 College World Series Finals loss, Texas A&M coach Jim Schlossnagle leaves Texas A&M to become the next head coach for Texas, which I understand that people have the right to switch jobs whenever they desire. But the way Jim went about it was hypocritical, repulsive, disgusting, and sickening. And with everything that has been revealed since the announcement, it has made Jim Schlossnagle look like a disgusting hypocrite. An absolute disgusting hypocrite. You can go all the way back throughout the entire season, where he had lobbied all throughout the season to expand the ballpark, to add more seating to the ballpark, make renovations to it, talking about how the 12th man has the most passionate fan base in all of college sports, and how they make Bluebell Park, how they make it the best atmosphere in college baseball. And then he leaves for Texas not even 24 hours after being the national runner-up. Which, it makes this even more disgusting is the fact after Game 3's loss, in the post-game press conference, Richard Zane asked him a question referring to the Texas job, which, based off his response, not only was it obvious that he knew about it, but the entire coaching staff knew about it. He described it as a selfish question and how he hopes to never talk to Richard Zane again. And the way he responded was just an absolute emotional fit on his end. And then ultimately he betrays A&M and goes on to Texas. As does the entire coaching staff, as Michael Early, Nolan Cain, and Max Wiener are all going with Jim to Texas. Which I had immense respect for Max Wiener. I really did. He got engaged at Bluebell Park. And then he betrays A&M as well. Which I do get that people do have the right to switch jobs, but the way that all of them went about it was absolutely disgusting and sickening. And it was obvious that this was completely coordinated. You can't tell me that just hours before Game 3 of the College World Series Finals, there's an announcement that Texas fires David Pierce. Texas had weeks to do that, but they waited till Game 3 of the College World Series Finals to do that. Doing that, it was basically a foregone conclusion that Jim Schlossnagle was going to be the next Texas coach, regardless if A&M had won or lost that game. And it's also sickening how the players found out on social media. 12th man Ryan Targash, he revealed that he didn't find out about it until he saw it on Twitter. The fact that he couldn't have the guts and the stones to tell his own players, that just makes me a complete beta male, if you ask me. And then Travis Chestnut, he texted Jim if the rumors were true, when the rumors were really starting to circulate, and Jim left him on red. Absolutely disgusting. And the parents of the players are speaking out. Travis Chestnut's mom, she said that Jim is a narcissistic A, which honestly, with what's been coming out, he genuinely is. And there are reports that Chris Del Conte, He claimed that he drove to College Station on Tuesday to meet with Jim face to face, where he waited outside of a cemetery, waiting for Schlossnagle and the Aggies to return home from Omaha. Which, maybe that is true, maybe it isn't. But there was also supposedly a flight log from Austin to Omaha on Monday. But I would lean towards Chris Del Conte waiting for him outside of a cemetery, waiting for him to return home is a bit dishonest on his end, because Trev Alberts released a statement saying that right after A&M returned home from Omaha, Jim Schlossnagle told him about his desires to leave A&M for Texas. And I genuinely don't even want to talk about Little Jim's introductory press conference with Texas, because that just is absolutely even more hypocritical and disgusting on his end. But honestly, it is what it is. And of course, in this new era of college sports, the transfer portal, as expected, several A&M players have entered the transfer portal. As of the moment I'm recording this, the players in the transfer portal so far: Jace Laviolette, which honestly I was expecting, but I don't necessarily think that he'll go to Texas. I feel like he will go to LSU because LSU was heavily invested in him, but he ultimately chose A&M over LSU. That's why I'm anticipating he will end up in Baton Rouge next season. Kevin Grahovac, Hayden Schott, Caden Kent, Max Coffer, James Bell III, Jake Hembry, Caden Sorrell, and I believe Jack Bell is also in the transfer portal as well. Players that have, in theory, announced that they're staying, or they definitely are staying: Shane Sadejo, Weston Moss, Josh Stewart. But we'll see who else on the A&M team stays. But just because the players are in the portal right now, it doesn't mean they'll stay there. They essentially had to put themselves in there because the portal window closes, I believe, either July 1st or July 2nd, one of those 2 days. But who does Trev Alberts target as the next A&M head coach? Honestly, it's probably a different conversation for another day. But just absolute sickening and hypocritical on what Jim Schlossnagle did. But there has been a lot of buzz on social media that people are saying that things are going to come out to the light as far as Jim, probably while he was at A&M or even at TCU. There's been talks about burner phones that people know about. And it's looking like Jim may or may not be getting caught in 4K sooner rather than later. But we'll see. That's all I got on this.